friends, I just thought I'd show you what a grocery trip to Walmart looks for me. First thing is I have 10 pounds of chicken hind quarters here, and I'm going to break that down, pull the skin off, divide it up, and I'll probably pressure cook some of that and maybe even can some. I need to get some canning jars out. Next thing is I want to play with some jicama. So I picked up a couple of these. I've seen them pressure cooked and made into a mash, so it's like a mashed potato. I've seen them used as a potato substitute, like when you're doing fries. So I'm going to air fry some, and that's my plan for that. Now, this is not keto, but this is something that I get for my husband, you know, because the carbohydrates in this are way too high for me, but he likes to eat oats. So he will be eating oats, and I will probably be making some baked oatmeal for him with some eggs and things in it. Next thing is I got a big package of almond flour. The price was pretty good on that. And this is 16 cups in a bag, so that's a good deal. This is a new product to me, this keto-friendly. If you guys have tried this, you can let me know what you think. It's got 6 grams of sugar, 7 grams of fat, 9 net carbs, 10 grams of protein per serving. I was thinking about maybe crumbling some of that up and using it in the bottom of a pie plate or something, because the total carbs are 19. But if I mix some of this, crush it up, mix it with some of these different flours and things, and make it as a base for something, I was thinking this might be okay. I mean, the ingredient list looked pretty good. I mean, almond, soy protein, isolate, erythritol, cornmeal, not so much, maple syrup. So, you know, not the cleanest, but, you know, I've had worse. Then my plant-based cereal that can be mixed with that are these Catalina Crunch. I got 3 different flavors. Catalina Crunch has 14 total carbs in a half-cup serving. Thought the honey graham would be good underneath some fruit and yogurt or something like that. Also got the cinnamon toast. I've had this before and I like it a lot. It's good just for snacking on. Of course, xanthan gum, another staple that we need to have for gluten-free baking. Reduced sodium chicken broth. Of course, I have to have my cold brew. We've got a couple of concentrated cold brew here because I like my coffee. And, you know, this has some carbohydrates, but this is a concentrate, so you're only using a small portion of this bottle in a big glass of ice water. So that's a drink of choice for me. Then I got some nut pod almond and coconut creamer. This is the French vanilla unsweetened and dairy-free. It has 10 calories, no fat or sodium. Well, my sodium doesn't bother me because I need the sodium. But let's see what the sugars are like. No sugars, no carbohydrates. So this is a good product. It's called Nut Pods. And yeah, I'm going to put some of that in my coffee for sure. Okay. Then heavy whipping cream. We know we always need this for baking and things. I got some just pork sausage. I'm thinking about making a quiche and maybe mixing some of that up with some cabbage. You know, egg roll in a bowl, cabbage. This is a real easy way to get it already sliced up. And I got some Applewood smoked deli turkey. I'm going to wrap some cheese and pickle rolls with this. You know, just snack stuff where you can wrap the cheese and the pickle inside of this and slice it for something. And then I saw somebody making a cake where they were doing the poke cake and putting the sugar-free gelatin on top. So I got some sugar-free gelatin. This is peach, and it has no carbohydrates. So, you know, if I'm making it with almond flour, an almond flour cake, and putting that as the poked on the top, and maybe a little whipped cream topping or something. I also got some strawberry extract because you never know when you're going to need some flavoring. So that's my shopping bag full of things from Walmart this morning. So right now I am prepping some chicken. I bought a big 10-pound bag out at Walmart this morning, and I'm pulling the skin off of these thighs, and they're going to go into a pressure canner. These drummies, let's see, I'm not getting that cut in the right spot. Gotta look for the cartilage. Those drummies are going to get fried up for my husband for dinner. This skin I'm making cracklings out of, so I'm going to cook down my stock and chicken. I like to get this chicken that's still got some ice on it to make sure that it's not been sitting out on the shelf for very long. You know, smell your chicken. Make sure you don't smell anything, because chicken goes bad so quickly. There were 4 days difference on the packaging in the case, and I could smell nasty chicken on some of it, and so it's like, okay, we're not getting those packages. I want one that is dated out, still has ice on it. So be cautious as you buy from places like Walmart that you're getting fresher chicken. These are not organic or anything like that, because, you know, that stuff gets expensive. This was like less than $5 for a 10-pound bag of chicken. So if you're trying to feed a family economically, this is a good way to go. So taking that skin and fat off. There's a lot of fat on this chicken. They're big old fat chickens. Let's take that off. Get your nice piece of chicken to go in there. I've got 2 more in this bag. Get some soap here. When you're handling raw chicken, you always want to be clean when you're around the kitchen. Make sure you clean all your utensils, your countertops, your hands, multiple times, your boards, all of that. So let's go over here. In this bowl, I'm getting ready to batter these. And so I have some keto friendly flour mix that comes from Rebecca's channel, and then I have some pork panko. I'm going to add some Redmond's real salt and some garlic powder and some keto chicken flavoring. This I get from the Dollar Tree, but it has nice seasoning in it, and I don't have to mix my own. Okay, so that's what's in there. This is my dry stuff that I'm going to dredge in, and then I've got a couple of eggs here. I like to add a little salt to my eggs too. Let's get those whipped up. I'm going to add a little half and half. Thin it down just a bit. There's my oven coming up to temperature. So now I've got this. I can dredge in here. in my dry mix. And I'll set that on my baking sheet. This comes together pretty quickly. There's 4, 5, and I'll have 2 more with what's in the package there. So that's going to get popped into the oven, about 350 for, needs to be pretty well done for him because he doesn't have a lot of teeth anymore. So for him, we're going to put it in there probably 40 minutes. I'll check the temperature and make sure it's coming out at a good temperature. Let me show you over here. I've got the skins frying up for cracklings over here, and we'll keep going. Okay, so our drummies are all ready to go, and our cracklings are still cooking up over here. I'm gonna stick those in the oven. And set a timer, we'll check those later. This is what the chicken cracklings end up coming out like. They're just all fried crisp. You can hear how crisp that is. It breaks right in two. Yummy stuff. Okay, so cleaning up our counter. Make sure you use some bleach and all that good stuff. Now over here, our pot is getting ready to go. I've added water to the bottom of this. We've got our lid set. Let's see, how's this going here? There's a locking mechanism. You gotta get it in the right spot. There it is. Here we go. And we're gonna set this to, I can hardly see it. I don't want to vent. I want it to pressure cook. Can I read that? Sealing. Okay, it says sealing right there. So this is a cheap pot I got from a sale at Best Buy. It was like $29.99. You can get the expensive ones. You don't need that. I'm telling you, you can do this for $29.99. So we are going to look here, and we're doing poultry. And I have quite a bit of poultry in there, and I want it to cook down really well. So I'm going to up this because I want to be able to pull all that meat from the bone. We're going to end up canning this. And we're going to hit the start button. And that's going to come up to pressure, and it's going to cook all that chicken down, and then I can let it cool down and pull it off of the bone. So that's our next batch of chicken from all of that 10 pounds of chicken. So friends, I've been out to the store, a couple of them since I talked to you last. I did give Ron some of these chicken legs for lunch. I'm going to box up the rest of this for individual meals for him. There's about 5 of these drummies left, and that's going to make nice meals. I can package them individually. Then over here, we've got our Insignia pressure cooker. It's finished cooking our chicken down. You can see I've got a whole pot. And that pork roast is ready to go in. This is another big savings for us. It's about a 7.5 pound roast at $1.68 a pound, so that's $12.50 for a huge pork roast. So now I'm just going to get my tongs and start dipping the chicken out of here because I want to remove it from the bones before we can it. So all of this is going to come out, and I will debone, and then I will start putting things into jars, which are right over there. So I'm going to suit up for this next little bit. I went over to Dabin, it's D-A-B-I-N, or D-A-A-B-I-N, store, and got all kinds of vinyl gloves, and actually a whole case of them that I can share with my friends and family. But this chicken's kind of warm, and what I want to do is pull it out, check it, make sure that it's just the solid chicken pieces, get these bones out of here, and the cartilage, don't need that. And I'm going to separate this chicken out to be canned. There's parts of the backbones, all of that, because that's the way they cut chickens now. They cut into the backbone when they're giving you a leg and thigh, and so you get part of the back with it. There's one of those little pokey bones. You don't want that. That'll get stuck in somebody's throat. And, you know, just feeling through here, finding those pieces that we don't want to can, keeping the rest of it pretty much intact. I've got it's just a grocery bag that they sent home with me from the grocery today. So I'm going to pick out the biggest pieces that I can, take these bones out. These are backbones. And thigh bones and all of that. That is not going to go into my canned end product. Well, now we're ready to start putting our ingredients together in the jar. So I'm going to take the chicken and start placing it into my canning jars. I don't want to overfill them. I want to leave plenty of room. And I'm going to use the broth that we cooked the chicken in originally, so it'll be nicely souped up with the broth. And I think we're going to get about 5 pints out of this, and maybe some extra broth. We'll see how this evens out in the end. So I'm just placing the chicken down, and then I'm going to use a strainer to catch any bone or anything that might be in the bottom of the broth, and put that in, and I'll clean the rim of my jars, and we'll be ready for canning. I forgot to mention, you do want to add some salt to each jar. I'm putting in about half a teaspoon and straining out any bone or scum that might be in the bottom of the canner here. Then we'll clean them up and make sure that our headroom is right. Push down with a tool and make sure that all the air bubbles are out so we're not trapping any air in between the pieces of chicken. And yep, there's an extra jar of broth. I'm sorry if you hear a hissing in the background, but that's my pressure canner coming up to steam, and we are just checking to see what we need to do. I did get this wrong the first time. I had to go back and redo it. But you put it on high, you set the time, you close the lid, you bring it up to pressure, then you flip the lever over so that it seals, and you let it cook, and then once it's done cooking, you let it cool down, and then you can take your quartz out. And that's how easy it is. I hope you try doing a little pressure canning. I think this is something that I'm going to enjoy doing more this summer as our garden grows and we have more produce and more things to do. See, now it's telling me that the lid is not closed, so I need to go back and close the lid. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and remember, sprinkle kindness wherever you go.